So this side is pretty well done for a faceplate. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn this just a little bit around here just to get rid of some of the bark. So when I put the faceplate, I can line it up a little easier. So this piece is ready for a faceplate. It's probably about 5 inches in diameter. And so the next step of what I would do is put a faceplate on. And with the magic of television, well, I was off camera for a second. I mounted the faceplate on the log. This piece on this faceplate, just what I just did a few minutes ago. And I did turn this one kind of off center. You can see the logs off center. I did that on purpose. So when I make this vase, when I do that wing here, not wing or edge, this side's going to be kicked out just a little bit more than this side. It gives it a little bit different characteristic. Okay. Real quickly, we'll talk about design just for a second. I think this vase is like roughly 9 inches long, so everything is more pleasing to the eye if you break things into thirds. And also the golden mean rule is like 1.68. So if your diameter is 6 inches in diameter, you take that by 1.68, you end up with roughly 9 or so inches. And that's a pleasing height, that's pleasing proportions on a particular piece. So this is 9. So if I go down 3 inches, there's a neck, go down another 3 or so, you know, kind of there's the belly somewhere in there, and then you have the foot, obviously. So typically when I make something, I try to divide it into thirds as a reference and go from there. The first thing I'm going to do is define where the neck is going to be, somewhere in about that area. And what I'm going to do for a second here is talk about the position of a gouge. So when I'm turning, I'll talk like my tool is open or closed. This is a fully closed position, and this is a fully open position. So when you're doing turning, you might start in the open position and finish up in the closed position. And as we're making this, we will do that. And hopefully everything will go well. So I'll start it down slow again and slowly speed it up. I'm going to go in here and define the where the neck is, and I'm going to cut downhill. I'm going to cut down at the bottom there, then I'm going to come So as I'm cutting, you know, the tool is pretty well open when I'm starting up because it's an intermittent cut. If this tool was like this, it would constantly push my tool back. So as this tool's up, probably 90% of my pressure is down, 10% against the wood. As I get all wood, I can ease the pressure off the tool rest, apply a little more pressure to the wood, and then as I get down to the bottom, I start closing my tool. And what that does, when you close it, this point right here on this back side, this tip on the wing, you have this is called the wing, this is the heel. I soften my heels too. Really open. And right there, I got all wood. And I'll slowly close it as I come in. We'll go again. And we're going to make a nice little, see right there, I closed it. Now we're going to go down on this side and meet it, and we're going to meet in the middle. close the tool, take that side out of play, come back over here. All right, you see all that bouncing? When you're doing an intermittent cut, a lot of times you get this right here. It's like like what is going on? The heel is hitting before the tip. That's even sometimes when you're making a cut. To prevent that, just turn that tip just a little bit into the wood. All that bouncing will go away. Turn my tool, close my tool when I get down there. And we're going to keep this diameter just a hair big today, just a hair farther. We'll take it from the bottom side. Tool is almost fully open. There's no bouncing. Now as I come into the bottom, I'm all wood there. I can start to close it. Right now I'm just trying to blend the two to where, just trying to blend the two. So we'll call that, because that'll make it a little, like say, a little easier to hollow. Next, I'm just going to get rid of this wood so I can speed my lathe up just a little bit. There any questions? All right, here we go. Okay, that's good. So now what we're going to do is shape the top. This is an intermittent cut. First of all, I'm going to kind of level all this wood out right here, and then I'll slowly work in and bring in the surface parallel with this inside surface here. The tool's about 45 degrees. As I get toward the center, I'm closing it. So I started almost fully open, not quite. And as I go in, slowly closing the tool. Let's take a quick look at where we're at. And the overhead, it's looking like this now. So we'll take this down about 5/16 or so. All right, when I made that entry cut, you know, my tool was almost fully open. I'm watching outside here, and what I want to try to do is bring those two in parallel. And as I get room for this tool rest, and as I go to the bottom, I'm gonna close my tool. And believe it or not, if it's bouncing out here, when it's like this, I will turn my tool a hair into the wood like this. because what's going on is the bevel's hitting. So to get that nice smooth cut there, and you got bouncing out here, you're going to end up with those grooves. So if you get the bouncing, just barely turn your tool into the wood until that bouncing goes away. And at the bottom, close it. So I'm a little thick right here. That means if you're on a natural edge, it's ungulated like that, and you got a thick part here and a thin part here, means that you're not, your wall thickness isn't right. See right here, I'm very consistent, but if I go over here, and I'm probably about a 16th big. So what I'm going to do is cut way out here. I'm going to cut way out here, bring that in a hair, and then go to nothing. So I'm going to take off a 16th or so to nothing. That's the plan anyway. See that bouncing? It's a little better. See now that it's a little hair thick there, but that's okay. So this part is pretty well turned, and when wood is green like this, it's really wet, it's not slinging water. You can, wood is translucent. So this is all end grain right here, so the fibers are running this way, so you're able to see through the wood, and just kind of get it down there to where we can break it off. Give a place for the drill bit to start on center. I'm just going to use a Forstner bit. That's good enough. Going about there. So I'm going to make the bottom about there. So we'll drill a hole almost to there. If I can drill some of it with a Forstner bit, I will, versus just drilling a small hole. I just think it saves a lot of time. I'm going to slow the lathe down about 400 or 500 so I don't burn up something. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to drill to this right here, 5 3/4 depth. Right now we're looking about almost 4. So we need to go about another 1.5 inches. So I put the smaller bit in. And I guess Tom's chuck is slightly bigger than mine, or his Jacob's chuck is slightly bigger than mine. I need to drill just a small hole. The bit ain't going in. Yeah, where is it? 3/8? Yeah, one. That's deep enough. Close. So now we drilled close to the bottom, deep enough. So now what I'm going to do is just turn the inside of that neck. I'm going to use, this is Johannes Mikkelsen gouge here. It's a 1/2 inch. It's a smaller diameter piece of steel to get in there. So I'm looking at the outside. You can see that bouncing already. That's from me taking it off the tailstock. So we're just going to blend all that in. And I'm watching the outside for my wall thickness. Okay, so we're the size right there. And the surface ain't bad. So right now we are done with this phase. The next step is hollowing. You see this right here?